Update. Am I the a-hole for going off on my friend for getting mad at me because I won't hang out with his cheater girlfriend? Original post. I was asked by a friend of mine to stop by his place and grab some stuff one day a few months ago since I had a spare key. Nobody was supposed to be there since his girlfriend works at that time, but when I got there, her car and a truck I didn't recognize were in the driveway. I immediately assumed the worst, and was right. I took a few pictures of the truck and car in the driveway, then went in to confront her, and she was half naked on the couch with another guy. I snapped a few pics and left before she could get dressed and chase me down. I immediately called my friend and let him know what I saw. We met up and I showed him the pictures. He was heartbroken, but said he'd started to suspect things a few weeks prior, so he wasn't too surprised. He confronted her, and she gave the usual cheater BS. It was a mistake. It only happened once. I love you. He meant nothing. However, she couldn't keep up the lie and was forced to admit she'd done it with another guy a few months previously. And that same guy I caught her with the night before, when she was staying late at work but was actually at her side piece's house. He broke up with her and kicked her out of his place. He seemed to be doing better until a couple of weeks later when he got lonely and took her back. Now they are together again, and I've stopped hanging out when she's around, so I don't see him as much anymore. We had the following exchange when we met up for lunch, and I'm wondering if I was too harsh. This isn't word for word, but it's the best I can pull from memory. Him: why don't you come over anymore? We barely hang out. Me: you know why. I'm not hanging out with or around your girl. She's a cheater, and I don't hang out with cheaters. Also, she freaking hates me because I'm the one who caught her stepping out on you, remember? Him: she doesn't hate you. I forgave her. It's fine. So just come over tonight and we can hang out. She wants you over there too. Me: not happening. I hope you're happy with her, but I think she's trash, and I'd rather sit in a room by myself than pretend she's not a total piece of turd, just so you can act like everything is okay. Him: why the hell do you care? She didn't cheat on you. He was getting visibly worked up at this point, and I was probably looking about the same. Me: look, if you want to sweep this crap under the rug and keep pretending things are fine while she figures out how to get some side dick again without getting caught, that's your choice. But I can never pretend that I didn't walk in on her half naked with another man. And I can't pretend that you aren't an idiot for taking her back when she's obviously going to cheat again and has no respect for you. Heck, I have less respect for you for taking her back. We sat in angry silence for a minute before I left, and since then it's been mostly quiet. I got a text asking if I really think she's a horrible person, and I replied, yes, she's a horrible person. I hate her and hope one day you're smart enough to leave her. But until then, I'll be keeping my distance from you as well. And that's been about it. A few of our mutual friends hung out with them recently, and they say it's super awkward. My friend tries to get them to interact with her, but they also don't like her. They're just too polite to say anything to his face about it. So, getting to the judgment I need, have I been too harsh here? Was I an a-hole for snapping at him like that after everything that happened? Should I have just played nice and made excuses not to hang out instead? Edit. For the record, I understand that I'm not an a-hole for wanting to distance myself from his girlfriend. I'm mostly worried about how harsh I was when we met up and got into our argument. That's where I think I might have crossed the line. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Cheaters are disgusting, and frankly, I'd be the same. If he wants to forgive her, that's fine. But you don't have to. You don't have to hang around anyone you don't want to hang around with. And nobody can tell you, or not tell you who to be around. I can't imagine being in a room with her for hours. He has to know it would be miserable for all of us. But he's hanging on to this fantasy that will go back to how things were before she got caught. But that is never gonna happen. Yeah, I can't imagine having a good time being fake for several hours. It's sad for him, and perhaps they really have made some genuine changes. But that's between them, and you don't have to be okay with things just because he is. How's your friendship going to look in the future? Hanging out when she's not around and never talking about her? Also, I have learned that sometimes you have to watch people be stupid for a long time and just be there when they figure it out. Because I was stupid for a long time, and thankfully my friends were there when I figured it out. While I was in it, nothing they said helped. Now I see I was being a very stupid person. Not the a-hole. Cheaters, especially ones who cheat repeatedly, are morally bankrupt, and I do not understand people who think that forgiving them will do anything other than enable their behavior. Stand your ground, create some distance from your friend, and let him know that you will be happy to spend time with him either without her or if they split up. You pretending to be okay with her would be incredibly short-sighted and, again, would enable her. Let's face it, she's never going to be a trustworthy partner to your friend, and watching a friend that you care about set themselves up for that sort of betrayal is soul-destroying. Now for the update. A month ago, I came here to get some perspective on a potential falling out with a friend of mine over him taking back his girlfriend after I caught her cheating on him, and she admitted to doing it multiple times. I stopped hanging out with him after we got into an argument over me not wanting to hang out with his cheater girlfriend. Things played out almost exactly how I figured they would, and I'm feeling pretty validated in my disdain for his now ex. After our fight, my friend and I barely spoke to each other outside of a few texts. Then I got a call from him yesterday, letting me know he kicked her out. He told me he'd only taken her back after several weeks of her begging and promising to do whatever it took to win his trust back. One of the conditions of him taking her back was full access to her phone, laptop, and game console without complaint. He said at first she was happy to comply, but after a few weeks, he noticed her acting suspicious. And when he went to check her phone, she'd changed the passcode from the one they'd agreed on for him to get in. When confronted, she started screaming at him and telling him she'd done enough to prove herself, so he needed to back off. He immediately dumped her and kicked her out. He said she immediately backtracked and tried to hand her phone over when she realized he was serious, but the damage was done. He said he was almost relieved she acted like this because it made the decision easier. I came over and helped him move all her stuff into boxes for her to pick up. I wasn't there when she came to get everything, but his sister was there and had to get between them because his ex kept trying to kiss him one last time while awkwardly dragging boxes of her stuff out to her car. I'm sad I didn't get to be there. Apparently, she ugly cried most of the time. I'm gonna head over to his place after work to drink and play video games to get his mind off things. He's a dumbass, but I think he's finally learned his lesson about her. I just hope his next girl is loyal and doesn't talk so damn much during movies. Not the a-hole. It's too hard to look her in the face while she's destroying your friend. He came back and he knows you're a good friend. More importantly, he knows he's a dumbass, but he's a lovable dumbass. He has such low self-esteem that he accepts cheating and emotional abuse to the extent it damages his relationships with friends. He needs help, like professional help at this point. Not the a-hole. You shouldn't be forced to hang out with people you don't like or respect, and I'm glad he finally has the blinders off. You sound like a good friend who is watching his back, but sometimes people in love or lust are really dumb, and you just have to be there to pick up the pieces. But the fact that she talks during movies would have been a deal breaker. That's just wrong. If there weren't explosions and fight scenes on the screen, she'd immediately get bored and try and talk to people about random stuff. It was so bizarre. She'd even do it with movies she picked. I usually pause the TV if someone is talking or if I have something to say. It drives my daughter nuts, but I find it annoying trying to watch a show with someone talking. I'm glad your friend finally saw the light. Sometimes dumbasses take longer to see the light, thus why they are called dumbasses. That sounds like a much more efficient method than my solution. I just waited until she blew up the relationship a second time and removed herself more permanently. I'm honestly looking forward to movie nights again. You're a damn good friend. I hope he appreciates you. I'm splurging on the good pizza and beer tonight. He'd better appreciate it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to have my ex-husband and his other children over to celebrate Christmas with me and our kids? My ex-husband and I have been divorced for just over 5 years now. Our divorce was extremely difficult for me and our kids, currently aged 11 and 9, because we did not part on good terms. At the time I asked for a divorce, I had just learned that he had been cheating on me for several years and was being DNA tested for 6 potential children he may have fathered during our marriage. My ex-husband ran through every excuse for what he did and attempted to convince me numerous times to stay, but I wasn't having it, and I called time on our marriage as soon as I knew what he was up to. 5 of the 6 potential kids turned out to be his, and he attempted to involve me in discussions with their mothers. I told him none of that was anything to do with me. I have never talked to those women, and I have never talked to those kids either. But that's not it for all his children. It turned out he already knew about 2 other kids being biologically his who were born during our marriage. They ended up living with him a year after our divorce, and their mother doesn't appear to be around. He's had 5 other children on top of that, and 2 of them also live with him full-time. The other kids, I don't know if he sees them or not. I just know they exist. He sees our children 1 weekend a month, and he's not very involved. The only thing he'll do is call and try to make plans for us to spend time together as a family, and I always shut him down and remind him we are no longer a family. He never wants to speak to or see just the kids though. He's always trying to involve me in that. Despite the bad blood between us, I remained on reasonably good terms with his parents, and they see the kids. My kids love their grandparents. But now we're having issues because they feel it would be better for the kids to have both sides come together for Christmas. For me to host my ex-husband and his children, whichever children he has on the day, and for us to function as a family who are there for each other. I told them that was not happening, and I was not pretending he or those other kids of his are my family. They told me I shouldn't hold so much spite for him and the kids, and that as a mother, I should want my kids to know their siblings, whether full or half. They offered to buy the turkey for us as a sign of helping to make it work. I still said no, and they wanted more reasons. I told them I didn't have to give any reason, and my answer was still the same. In truth, this whole idea is awful in my opinion. I hate my ex, and spending the entire day with him in front of our kids could unfairly burden them with my feelings. They don't need to see any of the issues between us. Having him and his kids over would also mean buying presents for his kids, which is not something I want to start adding to my plate. I have nothing to do with those kids. Not to mention, the ones he has all the time have no relationship with their mothers, and any chance he could lie to them and say, "I'm going to be their new mom," I want to prevent. He already tries to make us a family, so that's a concern of mine. I could never be motherly or even have a familial relationship with his other children. That's never going to happen. Does my refusal to do this make me the a-hole? I'm asking because I know we always say to put the kids first, and I believe this is the way to do it, so they don't see or hear any of the troubles between me and their dad. I believe this is the best way to not get their hopes up too, if they have any, for us to be a family again. Not the a-hole. Good grief, your former in-laws appear delusional. They just want you to host Christmas and run after the kids. If I'm counting right, he has what, 14 kids in total? I do hope their Christmas present to him this year is a vasectomy. 14 that I know about. That's an important distinction because he could have others I don't yet know about, or that he doesn't know about. If the father or grandparents want to have the family of kids together at Christmas, it should be arranged and hosted by them, not one of the mothers. That's a very good idea. The reason they won't is it goes against the overall wish to turn me into a family member to him again and to his other children. Of course, they need someone to manage all the unpaid labor required to raise children. Keep saying no. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not telling her boyfriend was cheating when she was pregnant? In 2019, I was on a dating app and I saw my colleague there. His profile said he was in X city for a night, a city where we had a second office. We were both there for work. I knew he had a girlfriend and a child. More than that, I knew his girlfriend was pregnant with their second child. I was shocked and grossed out. I was contemplating whether I should tell his girlfriend. I had met her only once at a company Christmas party and didn't know her well, but I decided not to. Mainly because I worried that since she was pregnant, it could cause a massive amount of stress, which I thought might be dangerous for her and the baby. Anyway, time went by and I kind of forgot about the whole thing, but today I got curious if they're still together. We don't work together anymore. I went on my colleague's Facebook, and guess what? They are still together, got married, and have 4 kids. And I don't know, I still feel conflicted about it. From the pictures, she seems super happy. But was I the a-hole for not telling her? Maybe if she knew, she wouldn't have proceeded with marrying him and having 2 more kids. But then she seems happy, so maybe it was the right thing. It's been 6 years, and I'm still conflicted about whether I did the right thing by not doing anything and not telling her. Edit. I obviously don't know if he actually cheated. All I know is there was an intention to cheat. I also didn't know that colleague well at all, and only briefly spoke to his girlfriend once, a year prior, and had no clue what their arrangement was. General rule of thumb, if you don't tell someone they are being cheated on, you're the a-hole. Even when they're pregnant? That was the reason I didn't, in case that would cause health risk which I didn't want to be responsible for. Are you for freaking real? Do you know how much worse it was because she was pregnant? STDs, dude. Those can cause serious harm, and if she doesn't know, she might not get tested and take the necessary precautions. But the worst is, she's raising 4 children with a liar. She's not happy, she's living a lie. Send those screenshots. WTF. Wouldn't you want to know? To be honest, if I was heavily pregnant, that would be the last thing I would want to know. I guess everyone would feel differently in this situation. You should have said it a long time ago. You should still tell her, but if you don't want it coming back to you, tell her through a secret account, with proof. The thing is, they have 4 kids, and she seems like the happiest wife and mom in the world. I guess it's been so long, and I don't know them well. I don't even know if he actually cheated or not. I don't want to ruin anyone's family. She might prefer not to know and hate me for ruining her family life. You really never know. Unpopular opinion. You waited too long and what you witnessed is no longer relevant. You should say something in a timely manner or not at all. Saying something 6 years later seems crazy and stalkerish. I agree. I don't think it would make sense to say it now. It still haunts me a little, but I think I made my peace that I did what I thought was right in the moment.